repent or die. Brothers falling off like a bike chain. Purple hit the block, bring the thunder, never light rain. Keep my circle small, don't want the drama that it might bring. Keep a counsel, give it to me straight, not a pipe dream. John 2:23, read the verse 25. Christ kept his circle small, so I'ma move just as wise. Edomites be telling lies, don't wanna see us televised. Israelites, we on the rise, we have to learn to improvise. I can read between the lines, see the real from the fake. We be in the field with it, y'all be with the patty cake. Y'all be on the lake with it, we across the 7 seas. Grimy in the...
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, both now and forever. Amen.
All praises, all praises. Hey, welcome to Daily Bread. I am Officer Lagabawar with IUIC Kansas City, and we're going to be giving you this word this morning. So all praise to the Most High. I know a lot of people still coming in. So all praise to the Most High again. Again, this is Daily Bread, and we're going to be talking about respect today. We're going to be talking about respect. I didn't have a catchy name for the title, you know what I'm saying? So just respect. We're going to talk about it because it's a thing that we have to deal with in Israel. It's a thing that we have to make sure that we know what it means. We have to know what it means to show respect, give respect, and receive respect because that's what's going to build that nation when we have respect for each other, when we have honor for each other. So we're going to be going through that today. Talking a little bit about that, showing some things in the scriptures. Hopefully we could be edified. All praise to the Most High. I got Officer, who I got with me?
Officer Zimra.
Officer Zimra reading for me today. Let's start with Romans 15:4. Romans 15:4.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 15 and verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
All right, so whatever things were written aforetime, they were written for our learning, that we would have patience and hope. That we have patience and hope. All right, so without these things, we don't have hope. We have to go back and read about our forefathers. We're supposed to learn from them. We're supposed to get built up from these things. That's why we look to our fathers. That's why we look and see exactly what we can learn from, what we could pull from the scriptures. All right. So I want to play this clip. We're gonna play this clip. We're gonna start at 0. We're gonna play this clip. Bishop brought this guy out, Tate. I don't know, it's Andrew Tate. He brought this guy out. I had never heard of him until Bishop brought him out. But he had some good points. I kind of looked him up on YouTube and kind of listened to what he was saying. And like he said, anytime somebody talk, we're going to verify through the scriptures, and the things that they pull through the scriptures, we're going to agree with. And he says some interesting points, and we want to bring those things out. So play that real quick.
World that a lot of people don't understand. It's disrespect that will drive a man to the most heinous of crimes. It's disrespect that starts the school shooter bullshit. It's disrespect that makes men go to jail for life sentences. It's disrespect. When you truly disrespect a man in a public and permanent way, that's when they switch. That's why I'm so respectful in public. You don't know who the fuck you're talking to. He might be on his last fucking straw.
Stop.
And you just disrespect.
So again, forgive me for the language, but the point he was making is he said a lot of things happen. A lot of men get out of character because of disrespect. When you disrespect a man in a public setting, you know, he could flip a switch. That could be his last straw. That could be the last thing that just take him over the edge to make him want to murder, to make him want to do any type of thing. Think about that. That's where, somebody call you a bum all your life. That's going to make you want to steal. That's going to make you want to sell drugs so that you can get money. So you can be like, hey, I'm not a bum. Somebody call you out of your name, out of your character. You know, the way we grew up, hey, you're not going to disrespect me like that. You're not going to talk to me like that, right? So it's one of those things when we come into Israel, we got to understand how important it is. Now, he said something. He said, that's why I'm so respectful, because you never know who you talking to. That's something that we deal with in Israel. Now, we don't deal with it in the same way he deals with it, because when he said it, he's saying it in the sense like, hey, this person might snap on me and do something to me. No, we believe this in a different manner, because we don't know who we talking to, because we know that the principal men are back on the earth. Let's prove that. Go to Matthew chapter 17. Matthew chapter 17. You never know who you talking to. We have to show respect to all the men, all the prophets. You know, it doesn't matter who it is. We have to show that respect, because we don't know who we're talking to. Matthew 17 and 11.
The book of Matthew, chapter 17 and verse 11. And Jesus answered and said unto them, Elias truly shall first come and restore all things. But I say unto you that Elias is come already, and they knew him not, but have done unto him whatsoever they listed. Likewise shall also the Son of Man suffer of them.
Keep reading.
Then the disciples understood that he spoke unto them of John the Baptist.
So when Christ was saying, hey, truly Elias or Elijah must come, he was saying, hey, you know, he must come to restore Israel. Where was he getting that from? Go to Malachi 4 and 5. Where was he getting that from? What was he referring to? Because there was something that our forefathers understood, something Christ understood, that the disciples understood, that we're understanding today. And it ties into this point. So let's read this.
The book of Malachi, chapter 4 and verse 5. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to the fathers.
So we understood through prophecy that Elijah was truly going to come back, and he was going to turn the hearts of our people. Like when they were going to captivity, Elijah had to come back and help get things back in order for our people. So when we go back to Matthew 17 and verse 13, when he said this, read.
Matthew chapter 17 and verse 13. Then the disciples understood that he spake unto them of John the Baptist.
So now the disciples understood that he's talking about John the Baptist, that he came back through John the Baptist. All right? So they imagine you disrespecting John the Baptist, not knowing who he is or what he's come to accomplish. Right? So that's putting us in the mindset of what we're talking about. Now let's prove it some more. Go to Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. Why is it important to be respectful to all the men of God?
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1 and verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Now,
when we read this is why we got to read precept upon precept, line upon a line, here a little, there a little. We have to have the understanding of what this thing is. There is no new thing under the sun. That thing that hath been is that thing that shall be. I think that's how it says it. Go to Ecclesiastes 6 and 10 so we understand what is it talking about.
Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and verse 10. That which hath been is named already, and it is known that it is man.
So that thing that it's talking about has been named already, and it is known that it's talking about man. So when we understand that thing that hath been, it shall be, it's talking about man. All right, so let's go to 2 Ezra chapter 1 and verse 35 now. This is just a quick recap of understanding that, you know, why you have to show respect to you don't know who you talking to. Just to Andrew Tate's point, you don't know who you talking to. Now in Israel, this is why you don't know who you talking to. Read.
Verse 35.
Yeah.
2 Ezra chapter 1 and verse 35. Your houses will I give to a people that shall come, which not having heard of me yet shall believe me, to whom I have showed no signs, yet they shall do that I have commanded them.
And that's what we're doing right now as Israelites. We waking up, we understanding. We hadn't seen the signs that the prophets beforehand had seen. We hadn't seen those things. We were in captivity. We didn't even know that we was Israel at one point until we came back into this Bible. So the Most High Spirit came to us, showed us who we were, and we start to learn and we start to keep his commandments based on just believing of who we are, right?
They have seen no prophets, yet they shall call their sins to remembrance and acknowledge them.
Read.
I take 2 witnesses, the grace of the people to come, whose little ones rejoice in gladness. And though they have not seen me with bodily eyes, yet in spirit they believe the thing that I say.
Because we read in this Bible, we believe it, we follow it, right?
And now, brother, behold, what glory! And see the people that cometh from the east, unto whom I will give for leaders Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Oseas, Amos, and Micaias, Joel, Abdias, and Jonas, Nahum, and Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Aggeus, Zachary, and Malachi, which is called also an angel of the Lord.
Right, so he's saying that he's going to give these leaders, and he starts naming these leaders' names: Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Well, wait a minute. These people who have died, we read about how they died in the scriptures. What he's talking about, what is he talking about? He's going to give them to us as leaders. He's going to give these to these people that's going to come and start believing as leaders. He's talking about regeneration. It's talking about how they're going to come back. Give me Micah 5:5. Micah 5:5.
Micah chapter 5 and verse 5. And this man shall be the peace, and when the Assyrians shall come into our land.
Talking about Esau in this context, read.
And when he shall tread in our places, then shall we raise against him 7 shepherds and 8 principal men.
7 shepherds and 8 principal men. Going again to these prophets that were going to be raised up to come back and lead the nation of Israel. Go to Obadiah verse 21. Obadiah 21. Just like I said, just a quick recap. You know, there's plenty of classes that Bishop has done, showing who the principal men are, who the 24 elders are, et cetera, et cetera. This is just a quick recap. Read. Come on, bro. Find that Obadiah. It's one page.
Verse 21.
Yep.
Obadiah, verse 21. And Savior shall come upon Mount Zion to judge the Mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's.
It says, and Saviors. So that's multiple, and Saviors. You know what I'm saying? So there's principal men, there's leaders that were set back on the earth to restore the nation of Israel. All right. And you looking at those men when we out there teaching, when we out there going through the scriptures, when we out there leading our people. So you never know who you talking to. You don't know if that's Abraham. You don't know if that's one of the 24 elders. You don't know if that's a principal man back on the earth. All right. So you have to be careful who you talking to. You have to show respect, because if you knew who it was, if you knew that who you was talking to was Abraham, you would be a lot more respectful. You know what I'm saying? You like, oh, I'm going to give you the honor and just do what you've been through. You know what I'm saying? So we have to treat all our brothers like that, because we do not know who we talking to. We do not know who we dealing with. So we let's get the definition. If you could pull up the definition of respect. Pull up the definition of respect. Because again, it may be one of those words that you never really looked at to get an understanding of. All right, let's go down. It says a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements, due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, and traditions of others. Admire someone or something deeply as a result of their abilities, qualities, and achievements. All right, so a feeling of deep admiration due regard for someone's feelings and wishes. So these things are what respect is. Go to the synonyms or similar. Pull that thing down. Pull the other one. Yeah, there you go. All right, so we got esteem, regard, acclaim, admiration, estimation, popularity, recognition, veneration. Now and then it says honor, right? So honor is a word because you see respect in the Bible and it's used in various forms, but you also see the word honor a lot. All right, so go to Leviticus 19, verse 32. Because we understanding that the prophets are back on the earth, we got to show respect, right? And that was something that was set in stone or set up long before.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 32. Thou shalt raise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man and fear thy God.
It said, thou shalt raise up before the hoary head and thou shalt honor the old, the face of the old man and fear thy God. So it's telling you got to have respect. You got to respect the men of authority, the men that's in that leadership position. That never changed. Go to 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 17. That never changed even until this time. So let's read this.
1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 17.
Read.
Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine.
Right, so it says, let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor. Double respect. All right? Y'all going to get it back? Hold on one second, Israel. We had a technical difficulty. But they can still hear me, right? All right, I'm going to still keep going. Israel, just bear with it. They getting the video back up. Read it one more time. Let me get my thought back.
1 Timothy chapter 5 and verse 17. Let the elders that rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine.
It says, especially they who labor in the word and doctrine. So we have to show that respect to our leadership. All right? Let's go through something real quick because I want y'all to understand how respect works or how it could throw you off as well. Give me 1 Samuel 18 and 6. Because Saul got out the spirit when he felt disrespected. And a lot of times brothers will go through something and they feel disrespected and it causes them, like the brother Andrew Tate was saying, it causes them to act out in a wrong manner. So let's give an example of that. Let's read.
1 Samuel chapter 18 and verse 6. And it came to pass as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, and the woman came out of all cities of Israel, singing and dancing, to meet King Saul, with timbrels, with joy, and with instruments of music. And when the woman answered one another as they played, and when the women answered one another as they played, and said, Saul hath slain his thousands, and David his 10,000.
So, you know, they come back. You come back from war, all right? And they're singing songs, and they're singing, David slayed 10,000s, and Saul slayed thousands. Read.
And Saul was very wroth, and the saying displeased him.
So you got to understand, if you the king, you know what I'm saying? You the king. You supposed to be getting that double honor. You supposed to be feeling a certain type of way. And now people are saying, hey, David killed 10,000. Saul only killed 1,000. Now he feels disrespected. He feels a certain type of way about that. Read.
And he said, they have ascribed unto David 10,000s, and to me they have ascribed but thousands. And what can he have more but the kingdom?
And what more can he have but the kingdom? But read.
And Saul eyed David from the day and from that day and forward.
So Saul eyed David from that day and forward. He had an evil heart towards him at that point. He looked at him evil from that point because he let that disrespect from other people determine how he felt about David at that point. All right, or what he perceived as disrespect. He didn't go to those people and say, "Hey, why y'all singing that song like that?" Oh, well, we heard about David's a mighty warrior. You know what I'm saying? He was out there killing. It might not even have been a big deal for them. It might have just been, hey, you know, he killed a lot of people on the battlefield, but we were, you know, you the king. We respect you as the king. You know, but he took it as disrespect. Go to Sirach chapter 3 and verse 24. And it's the one thing that we have to understand as men, how to deal with that. When we feel or perceive we've been disrespected, we have to, as Israelite men, we have to sit back, calm down, and we have to rationalize and use the scriptures to understand, all right, is this really disrespect or am I in my own mind? Let's read this.
Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 3 and verse 24.
Read.
For many are deceived by their own vain opinion.
It says, many are deceived by their own vain opinion. Read.
And an evil suspicion hath overthrown their judgment.
It says, and an evil suspicion have overthrown their judgment. Now, this is the thing. David didn't do anything. David didn't, you know what I'm saying? All he did was go to war, handle his business like he was supposed to do. Saul, in the end, when we read his whole story, he wasn't handling his business. He wasn't doing what the Lord told him to do in the first place. And so now that evil spirit jumped on Saul, and he feels disrespected because of the song that was sung, and it caused him to have an evil suspicion, and it overthrow his judgment. So now he wants to kill his brother. All right, and we got to bring that to modern times. How many times have you've been in a situation where say two brothers is working on a project together, you know what I'm saying? And then one brother gets the honor for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, a captain or something might be like, hey, yeah, bro, and shout out you for doing that or cleaning that or whatever. But it was two of y'all, and you sitting there like, wait a minute, what about me? And you feel disrespected, but you can't let that get you out of character. You can't let that keep you from keeping the commandments. You can't let that make you have an evil eye towards your brother, like, oh, why he get, you know what I'm saying? You know, they disrespected me. They ain't seeing my value. No, it may not be that. You know what I'm saying? That's why the scriptures tell us to admonish a friend. Go to, I believe it's still in Sirach 5, where it talks about admonishing a friend. But I want verse. Is it 5?
It's 6.
19?
19 to 6.
Get that for me. Because we supposed to give place to the law. Yeah, read.
This is Sirach, chapter 19 and verse 13. Admonish a friend, it may be he hath not done it, and if he have done it, that he do it no more. Admonish thy friend, it may be he had not said it, and if he have, that he speak it not again.
Right. So we have to go by the scriptures and admonish a friend. We have to talk to each other. All right. Because what we perceive as disrespect may not be disrespect. It might be your own vain opinion. Now, there may be times when you are disrespected for real. So what do you do about that? How do you handle those situations when you are actually disrespected? Let's go to 2 Corinthians, because Paul was disrespected. He was disrespected. 2 Corinthians in chapter 10. 2 Corinthians chapter 10. Here's a leader who was truly disrespected by the people that he was serving or being a service to. Let's go to 2 Corinthians chapter 10. We're going to start at verse 7.
2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 7. Do ye look on things after the outward appearance? If any man trust to himself that he is Christ, let him of himself think this again, that as he is Christ, even so are we Christ.
Read.
For though I should boast somewhat more of our authority, which the Lord hath given us for edification, and not for your destruction.
So he's writing this letter to Corinthians. Now he's already knowing what they've been saying about him, right? He know that they're saying these things about him behind his back. So he's saying, hey, for though I should boast, I could boast about who I am and what I do, and that the authority that God has given me, I didn't give it to myself. God has given me this authority to be a leader. He said, but this authority that he given me is for your edification and not for your destruction. Read.
I should not be ashamed, that I may not seem as if I would terrify you by letters.
So, because when he was writing the letters back to the Corinthians, he was writing it in the sense of a leader. Hey, y'all got to get these things in order. Y'all got to set these things right. You got to do this. So the Corinthians took it as like, oh, you trying to talk big and bad to us. He ain't nothing but a little guy. How does little guy talking crazy to us? You know what I'm saying? So he has to write back to them, and he's writing back to them and telling them like, hey, I'm not trying to terrify you in these letters. These are for edification. These are to teach you. Read.
For his letters, say they, are weighty and powerful, but his bodily presence is weak and his speech contemptible.
So that's what they were thinking about him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, he talk real tough in these letters, but his bodily presence, he weak, he little. What he gonna do? He talking tough. That's disrespect. Why are you talking to the leader like that? God set Paul up to go over the churches, to set the churches up. He's telling you right things to do. He's giving you edification, but all you worried about is, man, he talking tough in these letters. He ain't tough. He ain't nobody. Look how little he is. I'll smack him. You know what I'm saying? This is the mindset that they had towards their leader. This was the disrespect. This is true disrespect that they had towards Paul. But look how Paul handles it, right?
Let such an one think this, that such as we are in word by letters when we are absent, such will we be also indeed when we are present.
So he had to flex one time. And sometimes you do have to flex. Flex, what Bishop say? Flex occasion.
Flex occasionally.
Flex occasionally. But what's the second part of it? Flex occasionally, and is like be humble, but flex occasionally or something like that. Right, yeah. And so this is him having to flex occasionally and say, hey, look, the same way I write these letters is the same way I'll be at you when I come see you. Don't get it twisted. I will be the same way. The same passion that I have in this letter is the same passion I will have when I come see you. So he had to flex a little bit, but keep reading.
For we dare not make ourselves of the number, or compare ourselves with some that commend themselves, but they measuring themselves by themselves, and comparing themselves among themselves are not wise.
So now he goes back to the edification. Now he's going back saying, hey, this is not a wise thing that you're doing. You trying to compare yourself. You comparing yourself by yourself, because we ain't even on that. We ain't even trying to compare ourselves. We know that the authority that I have is given of the Lord. I'm doing as the Lord tell me to do, right? So now we have a leader who was disrespected. He didn't let it get him out the spirit. He could have truly got out the spirit and be like, oh, okay, well, I ain't doing nothing for y'all. I ain't giving y'all no scriptures. I ain't doing nothing for y'all. But no, he took the time to humble down, give them the scriptures, and make sure that they understood he's not one to be played with. So he demanded his respect in the same regard, but he also had respect to those under him. And that's what we got to understand as leaders. When our brothers and sisters come in this truth, they're not fully repentant yet. They're not fully of the understanding of how to respect, to how to have that admiration, how to have that exhortation, to respect leadership. Go to 1 Timothy chapter 3. This is something that we have to learn. We have to learn as leaders how to show respect to the body, and the body has to learn as the body how to show respect to the leaders, right? Because none of us was taught this in the street. Like he said, like the brother was saying, Andrew Tate was saying, hey, disrespecting the street, hey, somebody could snap. Somebody could kill you. Right. Somebody be ready to fight you. Somebody, and we come from the streets where you in the club, somebody step on your shoe, that's disrespect enough to be killed. Right. Somebody look at you funny, somebody mug you, that's disrespect enough to be killed. But let's read this. 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 1. This is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth a good work. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife.
So it says a bishop then must be blameless. And it's going through all this criteria to show you how a bishop then must be blameless. And it's going through this criteria to show you, okay, how are you blameless? How are you showing reverence or respect? Read.
A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach, not given to wine, no striker.
It says no striker, not hitting someone, right? Not putting your hands on somebody, right? So this is something that you had to learn when you coming back into the truth, how to keep your hands to yourself, all right, how to work things out with the scriptures. This is something that you have to learn. It's not something that you already have, you know, because your definition, the street definition of respect is a lot different than what the scriptures is talking about. So when we come in, we have to renew our mind to understand how to truly respect each other as men, as leaders, and as followers, and as leaders. Read.
Not greedy of filthy lucre, but patient, not a brawler.
It says not a brawler. A brawler is a person who's argumentative, want to go back and forth all the time, right? So these are things we have to learn coming back in this truth. So as a leader, Paul was showing in Corinthians, all right, I got to demand my respect, but at the same time, I have to edify these people. I have to edify them and show them where they're erring at, because what they're doing is not profitable. Go to 2 Corinthians 10 again. 2 Corinthians 10, we was at verse 12. I want you to just keep reading.
2 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 12. For we dare not
13.
But we will not boast of things without our measure, but according to the measure of the rule which God hath distributed to us, and a measure to reach even unto you.
So he's saying we're not going to boast. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit up here and keep boasting about who I am. We have a measure that we're supposed to give you. We're supposed to be teaching you. Read.
For we stretch not ourselves beyond our measure, as though we reach not unto you. For we are come as far as to you also in preaching the gospel of Christ.
Read.
Not boasting of things without our measure, that is, of other men's labors, but having hope, when your faith is increased, that we shall be enlarged by you according to our rule abundantly.
So he's trying to encourage them and let them know, like, hey, you know, when your faith is reached, we want you to do good, so that we can see how your growth abundantly helps the body, helps further this mission. You know what I'm saying? Because by your growth, it's showing, you know, what we've done. You know what I'm saying? Read.
To preach the gospel in the regions beyond you, and not to boast in another man's line of things made ready to our hand. But he that glorieth, let him glory in the Lord. For not he that commendeth himself is approved, but whom the Lord commendeth.
So he said, for not he that commendeth himself. He had to teach them, hey, you commending yourself. You may be big and strong, but you commending yourself. The Lord is the one that commended me. He put me in this position. He seen me, and he seen my spirit and understood who I was, right? And he commended me. That's what's more profitable. Is the Lord commending you, or are you commending yourself? Right. So as a man, he had to deal with disrespect. As a leader, he had to deal with disrespect. But how did he deal with it? According to the word, understanding that, hey, these brothers are being disrespectful. I'm gonna demand my respect first off by saying, hey, the same way I'm writing these letters is the same way I'm gonna come see you. But in understanding that, hey, I still have to edify them because they haven't learned yet. Okay? And that's how we have to be as leaders. You know, even in the body, because people are going to come through those doors and they're not going to be fully repentant. We have to demand our respect first, but we have to edify our people to show them how to respect, show them how to deal with us as leaders. All right, and we do that by dealing with them with respect as leaders to the people, because we have to show and teach them.
We're teaching them by actions.
Teaching them by our actions. You're 100% right. But let's see how Paul dealt with his leaders, because he had leaders. He had people that was over him, right? Jump to the next chapter, 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 5.
2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 5. For I suppose I was not a whit behind the very chiefest apostles.
So he was behind, Peter and the chiefest apostles. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could boast and try to say, hey, I've done mighty works. I've done great things. I've done things myself. Show me my respect. Show me, I'm just as. No, he said, hey, I'm to wit. I'm behind them. I'm giving my respect to those people who was before me. And he also showed respect by go to Romans. Go to Romans 16. Romans 16 and start at verse 1.
Romans chapter 16 and verse 1. I commend unto you Phoebe, our sister, which is a servant of the church which is at Centuria, that ye receive her in the Lord as becometh saints, and that ye assist her in whatsoever business she had need of you.
So this is him showing respect to those who are putting in work. Keep reading.
For she had been a succorer of many, and of myself also.
Read.
Greet Priscilla and Aquila, my helpers in Christ Jesus, who have for my life laid down their own necks, unto whom not only I give thanks, but also all the churches of the Gentiles.
Read.
Likewise, greet the church that is in their house. Salute my well-beloved Apenitus, who is the first fruits of Achaia unto Christ.
So he's showing respect to all the laborers, everybody who's been putting in work. He's, hey, greet this person, hey, send my regards to this person. That's what a leader does. Acknowledging, showing that respect for those, hey, this was the first fruits in your area. Hey, show them some respect. Let me show them some respect. Let me salute them. Let me, give them some honor, right? So we have to understand, go to Romans 12 and 10. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to give them shout outs. He didn't have to give them that up, but that's what a leader does. When he's showing honor, when he's showing respect to those that are even under him. Read.
Romans chapter 12 and verse 10. Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love, in honor.
In honor, with that respect, read.
Preferring one another.
Preferring one another. Be kindly affectionate towards one another with brotherly love and honor, preferring one another. Right? So this is him being an example of that and showing that, not just talking about it, but actually doing it by by showing that respect to his brothers and sisters that came before him. Because one thing we got to understand, go to Sirach chapter 5. Sirach chapter 5 and verse 12. Sirach chapter 5 and verse 12.
The book of Sirach chapter 5 and verse 12. If thou hast understanding, answer thy neighbor. If not, lay thy hand upon thy mouth.
Why? Why would it say do that? Read.
Honor and shame is in talk, and the tongue of man is his fall.
It says honor, respect, because honor is the same word as respect. So it says honor and shame. Honor and shame is in talk, and the tongue of man is his fall. How you speak to someone could bring shame or could bring honor. So we have to realize how important it is that we mind how we talk to people. We can't just talk to people any type of way. We, and nobody, what I'm saying, from a leadership position on down, we're not supposed to just talk to anybody any type of way, because you don't know what a person is going through unless you know that person, you dealing with them, you know what they're going through. You just can't talk to anybody any type of way, because this is what you got to be careful of. Go to Sirach 4. Go back a chapter. Mm-hmm. Go to Sirach chapter 4, and where was it? Sirach chapter 4 and verse 3. Yeah. Start at verse 1.
Sirach chapter 4 and verse 1. My son, defraud not the poor of his living, and make not the needy eyes to wait long.
Read.
Make not an hungry soul sorrowful, neither provoke a man in his distress.
Neither provoke a man in distress. Imagine a brother, that a brother is dealing with a lot at home, right? He's dealing with, he just got a lot going on. You know that as a leader. Like, hey, man, this brother just got fired from his job. He just, his baby is sick. He's this, is that. Everything's going on. The brother comes in, let's say to Camp 101 or something like that, and he's just missing scriptures, Are you going to just berate and belittle the brother? No. You're going to pull up the brother, hey, bro, I know you're going through this, but, hey, this is the time where you're not going to just be like, hey, brother, you
out the spirit.
You out the spirit. You don't know nothing. Hey, what you mean? You ain't read? You ain't reading? You don't know where this is? You don't know how to explain? You ain't going to come at the brother like that. You shouldn't. You should have enough respect for the brother to say, all right, I know you going through something. You got to shake it off, brother. You know what I'm saying? You got to get in the spirit. You know what I'm saying? You got to, leave that out there. Come on in here. Leave that out there. You know what I'm saying? But you have to have enough forethought to know that this brother going through something and that you're not going to add to that. Did we read verse 3?
Yes.
Read it one more time.
Verse 3, Sirach chapter 4 and verse 3. And not more trouble.
It says add.
No, I don't think. Add not more trouble to an heart that is vexed.
It says add not more trouble to a heart that is vexed. Read.
And defer not to give him, and defer not to give to him that is in need.
So it says to add not more trouble to a heart that is vexed. Now imagine this brother going through all of this, and he come in, and then, his officer, the person that's over him, the person that's supposed to show him hope in the scriptures, supposed to show him how to resolve his problems, is just beating him down.
Right.
Or he feels like he's getting beat down. Yeah. So that's why we got to be careful how we deal with one another. That's why we got to, in all lowliness, preferring one another. Hey, I know what this brother is going. I know what you're going through, bro. I know you're going through a lot right now. You're going to get through it. It's okay. Let me show you the scriptures on how you going to get through it. But I don't want you to worry about it right now. We're going to focus on what we're doing right now. Stay strong, brother. You know what I'm saying? We can't just beat brothers down all the time. We can't just, hey, brother, you better know this scripture and you better get it and you better, you know what I'm saying? We can't do that all the time. We have to show respect for those that may be going through something. Go back to Sirach 5 and 12. Or 5 and 13. So I want to make sure I hit that point. 5 and 13.
Sirach chapter 5 and verse 13. Honor and shame is in talk, and the tongue of man is his fall.
So it says honor and shame is in talk, and the tongue of man is his fall. So we have to understand that we have to deal with our brothers and sisters on a level to where, we dealing with them according to the scriptures. We're building them up according to the scriptures. We giving place to the law, the commandment to fix their problems, to help them out. And like we saw the example of Paul and how he dealt with his brothers, even though they might have been showing disrespect, even though they might have been out the spirit, he said, hey, I'm not going to tolerate the disrespect. But at the same time, this is the edification that you need, because we haven't been taught properly how to respect. Even the sisters haven't been taught properly how to respect, because when we go to Titus, Titus 2 and 3.
Titus chapter 2 and verse 3. The aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children.
To love their husbands and to love their children, right? That's a level of respect, a level of desire that they must have to their husbands, to their children, right? So they have to learn how to respect to respect their husband, right? A lot of women haven't learned how to do that thing. So respect in a marriage, just be like, I forgot one scripture. Go before I jump into marriage, before I get on the sisters. 1 Peter 2 and 17. 1 Peter 2 and 17. Let's read this. 1 Peter chapter 2 and 17.
1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 17. Honor all men, love the brotherhood, fear God, honor the king.
Right, so it says honor all men. You got to have respect for all men. You got to love the brotherhood, and you got to fear God and honor the king, right? So the same reverence and respect that we show the Most High, because we honor the Most High by keeping His commandments, we have to show to our brethren. We have to have for all men. We have to have that love for the brotherhood, right? So as brothers, we have to respect one another, because we don't know who we're talking to. We don't know if we're talking to one of these mighty men that are back on the earth. We don't know if we're talking to one of the 24 elders. We don't know if we're talking to one of the principal men. We don't know if we're talking to one of the saviors. You don't know what that role that brother is going to play at what time. So we got to show that respect and make sure that brother is feeling a type of feeling that honor. You know what I'm saying? Because go to Matthew chapter 5. No, not Matthew 5. Matthew 18. Go to Matthew 18. And we're going to start at verse 3. Matthew 18 and 3. It's imperative that we show that, because you don't know what you could do to a brother. Read.
Matthew chapter 18 and verse 3.
Start at verse 4.
Verse 4. Whosoever, therefore, shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven.
Read.
And whoso shall receive one such little child in my name, receiveth me.
Read.
But whoso shall offend one of these little ones.
So when it's talking about who shall receive one of these little child in my name, receiveth me, it's going into understanding that, hey, you dealing with the principal men on the earth. When you dealing with each other as men, you understand that, hey, this man is a man of God no matter what. No matter what, he's a man of God. If he's keeping the commandments, he's worthy of that respect, because he's keeping the commandments of God. Right. So if you receive that little one, you receiving God, because you loving your brother as you loving yourself, right? But read verse, where was we at? Read verse 6 again.
But whoso shall offend one of these little ones.
These little ones are us. Who shall offend one of these little ones? It could be me. It could be you. It could be that soldier. It could be that brother. It could be that officer of 10. It could be that deacon. Who shall offend one of these? We are the little ones. So who shall offend one of these little ones, read?
Which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were tied and hanged about his neck, that he were drowned in the depth of the sea.
So what if, you talking to one of these principal men and you offend them? You offend them, you cause a sin against them because you have no respect for them. You talk to them a certain way, and you cause them to not want to continue or push in this truth. They're saying, hey, it's better that a millstone be tied around your neck. Because of what you're doing to one of his little ones, right. to one of his principal men, to one of his honorable men. Read.
Woe unto the world because of offenses.
It says, woe to the world because of offenses. Read.
For it must needs be that offenses come. But woe to that man by whom the offenses come.
So we have to move in that understanding. Woe unto them, woe unto that man by whom the offense cometh. If you a disrespectful brother and you moving in disrespect and you're not honoring these men who are putting their life on the line going to camp, you're not honoring these men who give up time of their day to make sure certain things are running. Like, I want you to think about this. It's a brother. You hear the jokes all the time about like IT team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Bishop be getting upset, because they not moving fast enough or they not doing what they doing, right?
Right.
But when it's time to honor them, he gives them honor as well.
Right. Exactly.
Now, imagine you, a brother who's just sitting there watching,
Mm-hmm.
because you heard Bishop say something. Now you go and disrespect those brothers.
Right.
You walk back to the IT table like, man, y'all be messing up.
Right.
Brother, you have no idea what these brothers are going through.
Right.
You have no idea what it takes to run the IT table.
Right.
You haven't put in one brick at the IT table.
Right.
You don't have anything to say to these brothers, but you go back there being disrespectful. Y'all brothers messing up. Y'all brothers da da da.
Yeah.
You could offend that brother.
Mm-hmm.
You're disrespecting that brother because that
Right.
brother is putting in time and effort. And yeah, he may not be at the level where he's supposed to be
Right.
because, Bishop may be, upset with them at that moment of what they're doing because they're not doing it the way he asked them to do it. But that doesn't give you the right to go back there and talk to them when you haven't done anything.
But that's the level of respect that IT has for Bishop, because they know that he's only encouraging them. And Bishop wouldn't allow them to do that job if he didn't believe in them.
Exactly.
So you don't be going back there saying no disrespectful. You're not the bishop. You can't say stuff like that. You don't have that jurisdiction or that relationship.
You don't have that authority. And that's what that's going into. You by your words, imagine you go back there, you don't know nothing of what's going on. You go back there and you're like, man, y'all be messing up. And a brother really take that to heart, like, man, this brother don't even know me. He come up
Right.
to me, and not to say that they would, 'cause, you got to have tough skin to be in the position that you in. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine he does. That falls on you
Mm-hmm.
because you offended that brother.
Mm-hmm.
You offended him, like coming at him for no type of reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, now you just as responsible for that brother quitting. Now you know what I'm saying? Now you causing the nation to go backwards because somebody who could actually do something, now he got to be replaced by somebody else.
Right.
Because you can't keep your mouth shut.
Right.
Because you can't be humble and show the respect.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't go back there and ask the brother, hey, is there something, do y'all need more help?
Right.
Can I help?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You just want to, you see the bishop doing something and you think that it's okay for you to do it.
Right.
That's not how we moving.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how we moving. All right? We got to show respect to one another. Where was we at? In Matthew
18.
Read verse 7 again.
Matthew chapter 18 and verse 7. Woe unto the world because of offenses, for it must needs be that offenses come. But woe to that man by whom the offense cometh.
But woe to the man by whom the offense cometh. So don't be that brother that's causing offenses between the brotherhood, causing problems between the brotherhood, disquieting friends, right? Because you have disrespectful tendencies, right? Check yourself. Make sure that your speech is
Seasoned with salt.
seasoned with salt, is holy. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that your actions towards your brothers are genuine. You know what I'm saying? So that you don't offend someone. All right? So there's you got to have respect in marriage as well. We just talked about between the brothers in the brotherhood, but you got to have respect in marriage as well. Go back to the video. I want to play the rest of the video of what Andrew Tate said. Play that.
Disrespected, hey, you're a fucking bitch anyway, you skinny motherfucker, fuck you. You don't know. That might be the last time you heard it. I've had enough. You don't know. Disrespect is dangerous, right? And in a household where you're constantly disrespecting a man, he's going to end up depressed and sad for even accepting it. Men just want to feel respected. It's not that hard to do. If you truly, I say to anyone watching this, if you truly love your man, it would be so easy for you to just make him feel respected. It doesn't even take actions. You can do it with basic words. Ask his opinion on something. Big him up once in a while. And because we're supposed to be supermen and we purport ourselves as supermen and we're stoic, but we talked earlier about how we still feel everything. So when you're a strong man especially, they're like, he's fine. He's fine. He's fine. He's fine. Be nice to the dude. You'd be surprised how far you get. But this is why I think most men walk out of marriages, because they're like, you know what? I'm not getting any respect here. I get more respect from this dickhead stripper, 18-year-old hoe, and to die. I can't.
All right, so he's making a good point. He's making it. Actually, play it. Just play it. I know it. Israel, the words, again, if you got little children around, cover their ears. I know he's using, the, language or whatever, but don't miss the point. Play it again.
At me in years. And it gets to a point where it's just like, well, I want to feel respected now. I'm working my ass off. I'm out here in the streets. I'm going to the sewers and shit. Where's my respect at? And that's what I think it really comes down to. I think men function on respect. And respect is the number one trigger that'll make a man do heinous crimes. And it's also the thing that will make us do the bravest, most honorable things.
All right,
what did
stop.
I say about protecting?
So what he was saying is that, hey, a lot of men are walking out of marriages because of respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, of disrespect. The wife don't respect him. He made a point, and we kind of skipped it. And he made a point. He was like, the men. He was like, hey, I might as well give my money to the stripper. At least she'll smile at me. You know what I'm saying? At least my wife ain't smiled at me in years. Right. So when we dealing in this truth as in marriages, there must be a level of respect. I mean, that's commanded. Go to Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. I know you sisters hear this all the time. But you got to hear it again. Because repetition leads to mastery.
Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
He says, your desire shall be to your husband. That respect should be to your husband. All right? He's the one that's the leader over you. You should have a certain desire to your husband. You shouldn't be in there disrespecting your husband. It shouldn't be coming out of your mouth. Go to Sirach 22 and 5 real quick. Sirach chapter 22 and verse 5. And I know, Bishop went in on last Sabbath. Bishop Nathaniel, Bishop Kanan went in on Sunday, when they did the class on Sunday as well. But it's something that we have to keep bringing these points up, because it's like the brother was saying, like, a brother will commit a heinous act. A brother will leave. A brother will, you know what I'm saying? Like, you wonder why this brother cheating. You wonder why this brother committing adultery, because of the disrespect that started at home. Right. Now, understand, disclaimer, we're not talking about the whoremonger brother. That's not who we're talking about. In no way are we justifying that a brother commits adultery. No way. A brother has to control himself. But you're not helping if you go home and you disrespecting this brother all the time. This brother can't get a smile out of you. This brother can't get you to listen to one word he say. He give an order in the house and you do what you want to do. You don't have no desire to this man at all. And then you wonder why. All right, why my husband on Pornhub? Why my husband doing this? Why my husband doing that? Why my husband down the street with the cleanup woman?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because of your disrespect, because you don't have the desire. Right. You have to have that respect. Read.
Sirach chapter 22 and verse 5. She that is bold dishonoreth both her father and her husband.
So it says, she that is bold dishonoreth both her father and her husband. Read.
But they both shall despise her.
So they both shall despise her. When you bold, when you don't have that respect, you just bold around, whatever.
Being manly.
Yeah, being bold, like you grown, you can get it yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, your husband is hungry. All right, hey, sis, I'm hungry. Can you grab me something to eat? Right? You're grown. You can get it yourself. That type of disrespect will make a man start saying, you know what?
I don't even want
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Food.
I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And once a man starts feeling like that, like the brother is saying, once a man starts feeling like that, it's like, why am I even here? His mind starts going other places. So in a marriage, there has to be that respect for your husband. There has to be that desire for your husband, or things are gonna fall apart. Where's that scripture in Sirach? It just came to yeah.
Is it 26? 25 and what?
Sirach 25 and 23. 23.
Okay.
Yeah, 23.
Yep. Sirach chapter 25 and verse 23. A wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh an heavy countenance.
It said, a wicked woman abateth the courage. Abated the courage. Remember, this brother was just talking. Play where you at, because we didn't play it. Let's play where we at, because he made another good point.
Friend tried to rape her in a situation on the street. I can't respect myself, and I won't be respected by society if I don't die. So I will stand and die. I can't say, oh, well, there's 3 of them. I can't do it, because my self-respect and respect of the world. Nah, that's Tate's girl, and he ran away. I can't take it. I have to die. I can't live that way. So it's like honor. Stop. It's like hierokari.
So he was making a point to say, like, if something happened, you know, something's going on with my wife, say somebody come and try to attack us, there's a certain honor that you have to have, like, I'm going to protect my family no matter what. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to protect it. I'm going to do it. I don't care what the odds are. I don't care if it's 30 people and I got to fight all of them. You know, it is what it is. I just have to die. Right. You know what I'm saying? For the respect or for the honor of my family, right? But when you read this, read it one more time now.
Sirach chapter 25 and verse 23. A wicked woman abateth the courage.
Now, I want you to take that same scenario. 30 dudes run up on you and your wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you have this, like, she wicked. She don't respect you. She don't do this for you. She don't do nothing for you. When it comes time to fight those 30 dudes, your mind is gonna be kind of like, do I really want to do this? Are you really worth it? Right. It's gonna abate your courage. You gonna. I don't know. You know, hey, you might. Hey, well, it was nice knowing you, sis. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gonna go there for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
think twice about jumping in front of that bullet.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you shooting her? It was a video on Facebook a long time ago. It was like, I guess like the brother, he was like sitting there. He was like, she asked me, would I take a bullet for her? And he was like, what hospital you in? I'll visit you at the hospital. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, you want, the man wants to have that honor of like, hey, I'm going to protect my family. I'm going to do this for my family. Whatever my family needs, I'm going to be there. But you abate the courage when you wicked. Your brother goes out to work every day. Just like he was saying, your brother, hey, he in the sewer. He doing the hardest job. He doing what he do. He working all day just to come home to disrespect from you. Right. Because you don't have no desire towards him. How do you think that's going to play out? How are you going to react as a man?
And that's what that, when you coming home and you go get a beer or a little drink and you sit in the parking lot or the garage in your car, you don't even want to go in the house because she abated the courage. It's like you was just saying, officer, like she's bold, you know, so you don't want to ask her no more for nothing. So you don't even want to really deal with it. You don't want to
deal with it. You know what I'm saying? You just want to be done with the situation. You just want it to be over. You just want it to be over. But as men, how do we deal in that situation when we getting disrespect from our wives? Right. How do we deal? Like we went over how Paul dealt with the Corinthians, and we went over how Saul dealt with David. How are you going to deal? Because if you're dealing like Saul, you're going to go watch porn. You're going to go deal with the cleanup woman. You're going to take that disrespect, and it's going to lead to sin. You're going to let it lead you to sin. You're going to let it lead you to do something wrong. But if you dealing with it like Paul dealt with it, you're going to demand respect, and you're going to fix it. So let's show you how to do that. Go to 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. Because the man has to show respect in the marriage as well. You know what I'm saying? Just like leaders have to show respect to the followers, the man has to show respect to the wife. And this is the respect that the man has to show. Let's get this. 1 Peter 3 and 7.
1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 7. Likewise, ye husbands, Dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor
giving that respect to them,
unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered.
So just like a leader, just like when we saw how Paul dealt with the Corinthians, all right, he demanded his respect, and then he went into teaching them. He went to admonishing them. Hey, what you're doing ain't right. This is how you need to correct it. This is how you need to fix it. This is the mindset that you should be in. This is how we are to deal with our wives. Likewise, you husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge. We're supposed to deal with them according to these scriptures, to get their mind right, to show them how to respect you. Go to Ephesians chapter 5. Ephesians chapter 5. Because you got one or two ways you're going to deal with this. You're going to deal with it according to the scriptures, or you're going to deal with it in your own lustly way. Before we get, let's read this first.
23.
Ephesians 5.
What you want?
22.
22. Yeah. Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 22. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord.
It said, submit yourselves unto your husbands as unto the Lord. Read.
For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body.
So we supposed to be, the husband is supposed to be the savior of the marriage. So if something's going wrong, he's supposed to fix it. He's supposed to make sure it's taken care of, because he has to dwell with the woman as the weaker vessel. He has to give her that respect and that honor as the weaker vessel by being patient, by being temperate, by being a leader, by being a teacher, by showing them how they're supposed to move, right?
Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let thine wives be to their own husbands in everything.
So there's supposed to be that desire. There's supposed to be that respect there for the wives, right? Or from the wife to the husband.
Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it.
So that's how we're supposed to love our wives. We're supposed to give ourselves for it, in the sense that Christ gave his life for the church, for those that wanted to do the right things, for those that wanted to keep the commandments. But he taught them. When they was going off, he taught them. When they was wrong, he said, hey, what you're doing is wrong. This is how you need to fix it. So that's how we have to deal with our wives. Hey, sis, what you're doing is wrong. This is what the scriptures say. Get in line. Get in order. All right, read.
That he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word.
All right. So on that point, go to Ecclesiastes 7. Ecclesiastes 7. I want to back up what I'm saying. Ecclesiastes 7, I think it's 26, I think. Ecclesiastes, him that he gonna escape her. Where's that? 26. 7 and 26. Let's read this.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 26. And I find more bitter than death the woman, whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whoso pleaseth God shall escape her, but the sinner shall be taken by her.
So you have two choices now. You have two choices. So if you please God by keeping the commandments, by dealing with your wife and as knowledge, you know, he's going to turn that spirit around, because you're going to be teaching her. You're going to be building her up. But if you're a sinner, you're going to be taken by your wife. That's when you're going to go to the cleanup woman. That's when you're going to go start logging on the Pornhub. That's when you're going to be a brawler in the household, a striker in the household. You're going to, you know what I'm saying? Like the brother said, the brother Andrew Tate said, disrespect causes the man to do the most heinous crimes. You know what I'm saying? Like putting his hands on his wife. That's a heinous crime because your wife is a reflection of you. She's a extension of you. So you have to love her like you love yourself. You don't punch yourself, do you? You know what I'm saying? You don't sit up there and punch yourself, kick yourself, but you would do that to your wife. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's a heinous crime that a man will commit over disrespect, because he feels disrespected.
Or it's, some people like in the body, they won't even take it out on their wife. They'll come into the congregation and start taking out on their brothers.
Exactly. So now, because you mad at home, you come in here and you disrespecting brothers. A leader come in here and he lording over the people now because you mad at what's going on at home. Can't do that. We can't move like that. And it starts at home. And you and the sisters have just as much say so in that as well. That's why the dude was saying, just be nice. Just be, just ask the brother opinion, respect the brother, be nice to the brother. It goes a long way. And we have to have that in a marriage. Go to Hebrews 13:4. Well, actually, stay where we at. Let's finish this out. Ephesians 5:27.
Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 27. That he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish.
Read.
So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself.
Read.
For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourisheth it and cherisheth it, even as the Lord the church.
Even as the Lord the church. So what we got to understand is when it's talking about no man has ever hated his own flesh, sisters you can cause that by showing disrespect to that man. And now, because that man can't control himself, now he's taking it out on you. Now he's taking it out on you. Now that in no way absolves the man. Right. The man, you supposed to deal with it. You supposed to deal with it accordingly. If your wife is disrespecting you, you got to deal with it according to the knowledge of the scriptures. And if you deal with it according to the knowledge of the scriptures, the Most High says you will be delivered from that woman. Either she gonna get it right, or the Most High is gonna make way for that woman to be removed out the way. Right. And we've seen it happen. We've seen it happen time and time again. Mm-hmm. We've seen it time and time again where Sister Bug Out, she gone now. You know what I'm saying? We got examples here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Where, the honor, the woman didn't respect the husband. He's trying to deal with her rightly according to the scriptures. He's giving her the scriptures. And then at that point, the Most High put the spirit on her to go commit adultery. She out of there. Right. And it started with her disrespecting her husband. Mm-hmm. And him demanding that respect first off. And then going to the scriptures, trying to teach her. And she didn't want to learn, so she was gone. So sisters, y'all got to take that into account. Your husband, and you husbands got to take that into account. Do things the godly way. Mm-hmm. Don't let the disrespect turn you to sin. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to make sure that, if there's certain disrespect going on, mm-hmm. you got to fix it according to the scriptures and let God be the God.
Or you start dealing in using your own words and not according to knowledge of the scriptures. You start using your own words. So now you're going back and forth like you do in the world.
Exactly.
And causing arguments and bringing up stuff and causing strife in your own house.
Exactly. You're railing for railing at that point. Mm-hmm. All right? So we got to be careful of those things. So now go to James 4:1. Let's go to James real quick. No, go to Hebrews 13. That's what go to Hebrews 13.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 4.
Start at verse 1.
Verse 1. Let brotherly love continue. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers.
It says, let brotherly love continue. Why does the scriptures always talk about brotherly love? Always talk about being on one accord. Always talk about like Psalms 133. Right. You know what I'm saying? Why is it always talking about that, of us being together? Love your brother as you love yourself. Why is it always talking about that? Like, we have to rehearse that and practice it over and over and over again. Because when we don't have that, that's when disrespect comes in. That's when we start hating each other. Hold this real quick. I know got you holding a whole bunch of stuff. Go to Matthew 24. Matthew 24. Because when we don't walk in love of each other, when we don't have that respect for each other, go to Matthew chapter 24 and start at verse 8.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
Talking about these things that are going to come to pass. Read.
And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another.
And then shall many be offended and shall betray one another. Somebody's going to hear this class about how to deal with disrespect, and they're not going to follow it. They're not going to follow it. They're not going to deal with it according to the scriptures. Hey, I felt disrespect. Like my man David is in my eyesight. Soldier David is in my eyesight. Soldier David may feel offended at something I did. You know, he may feel disrespected. But instead of coming to me and working it out according to the scriptures, he's going to hold a grudge. And then when the time of persecution comes, he's going to be offended and he's going to betray somebody. Because that's where it's going to come from. Now you're going to betray one another. Read it one more time.
And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another.
That's where that offense comes from. That disrespect. I might have said something to David and it was out of character for me. And if he would have just came to me, I would have apologized and said, hey, I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that. Right. But because he feels disrespected, now he's going to betray. He's offended and he's going to betray. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are going to do that in this truth because they didn't learn how to really love their brother and sister, because they got offended, because they felt disrespected. The most heinous crime is going to come out. And what is that? Betraying one another. Read it one more time.
And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another.
And shall hate one another. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine you've been in this truth, you know, this whole time, then persecution starts. They start rounding people up, and then you like, man, I really never really liked Laga anyway. Yeah, he's over there. And that's what's going to happen to some people, because they're not going to fix it. They're not going to, hey, I gotta deal with my brother rightly. I got to make sure that I'm fixing this between me and my brother. I got to Matthew 18 with him and make sure that we good. You know what I'm saying? Or you just been a disrespectful brother your whole time. You never considered your ways, and now people is just like tired of you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You've offended the little ones. So now the Most High is going to make something happen to you. So we all got to be aware of how we dealing with one another, and that we showing respect for one another, whether it's between brothers, whether it's in the household, in your marriages. We must show respect to one another. Go back to, where was
Hebrews.
Hebrews.
Chapter 13. I'll start with verse 1.
Read.
Let brotherly love continue. Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. Remember them that are in bonds as bound with them, and them which suffer adversity as being yourselves also in the body.
Hold on, I wasn't there yet.
All right.
Read 3 again. Sorry about that.
Remember them that are in bonds as bound with them, and them which suffer adversity as being yourselves also in the body.
So it's telling you to love people like you love yourself. You know what I'm saying? Remember them that are in bonds, and them that which suffer adversity as being yourselves also in the body. So we supposed to have that respect for one another. If what you going through, I got to be going through it. And I got to have respect to know, like, hey, he's going through something. Hey, I got to be here for him. I got to make sure I'm looking out for him, because that could be me. And I will want him to look out for me if it happened to me. We got to have that brotherly love, and we got to let that continue amongst each other. But read.
Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers God will judge.
So it says marriage is honorable. It's supposed to be an honorable thing. It's supposed to be this mutual respect between the husband and wife, and how they move together. The husband being the head, he's supposed to have respect unto the wife as the weaker vessel, teaching her, bringing her up in the spirit. And the woman is supposed to desire the husband. She's supposed to respect the husband in the sense that whatever he's desiring of her, however she's supposed to, whatever he's requesting of her, she's supposed to do. That's the respect. That respectful relationship between the both of them. You both have a role to play, and you got to know which role you playing. Are you being disrespectful by not following your role? Because not following your role is disrespectful to your husband. And you gotta really pay attention to that, sisters. Because if your husband is asking you to do something, be a certain way, fix your spirit a certain way, and you're not doing it, that's disrespectful. Because we'll look at it as like, some sisters will look at it, well, I ain't call him a BAN to his face.
Right.
I ain't I ain't do this, I ain't do that, but you're still being disrespectful.
Right.
If your husband come home and say, hey, I want tacos, and you make spaghetti, you're being disrespectful. You're disrespectful in that marriage. Because his role is to be the leader in that household. His role is to give the order in the household. His role is to be the provider in the household. His role is to do what he's supposed to do. Right. And your role is to follow. Your role is to desire. Your role is to respect. Right? So we got to make sure we're paying attention to that. But keep reading in Hebrews 13, verse 5.
Verse 5. Let your conversation be without covetousness, and be content with such things as ye have.
So a lot of times the disrespect comes because in a marriage, because there is no, the wife is not content. Mm-hmm. You want more. And so, now because you want more, you get out of line, you get disrespectful. Right. All right? So we got to be content in what we have. We got to be content. Hey, I have a husband that's trying to lead us to the kingdom. We got what we need. We got a house. We got food. We got raiment. We good. We good to go. Anything else after that is a bonus. Right? And when you start having this mindset to understand, like, hey, I want to be respectful. I want to honor my husband. Things will change. He said, just like the brother was saying, like simple things. It ain't even got to be action. It just could be in your demeanor towards your husband. Just in your demeanor, how you respect him, right? So let's have respect for one another, Israel. I think that's about my time. Let's have respect for one another. Let's make sure that we are preferring one another, that we holding each other accountable, that we're not offending the little ones. That we just stand in the spirit, study, pray, and apply. 4 chapters a day. Hope this class was edifying. I hope that we get some understanding from it on how to deal with each other. Remember, you could deal with it one or two ways. You can let disrespect take you out of the spirit and commit sin and do the most heinous crimes, betraying your brother, killing your brother, et cetera, et cetera. Or you could go by the scriptures and you could fix it. All right. So this is Daily Bread. I'm Officer Lagabor. I got
Officer Zimra.
I got Soldier David, Soldier Jan, and Officer Ariel helping out today. Officer Matt Nye as well. All praises to the Most High. Shalom, Most High in Christ bless.
Shalom, Israel. Most High in Christ bless.
Rain on me. 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 Okay. It's my angel. My angel. He guards me. He guards me. You're on me. Just don't harm me. Don't harm me. Rain on 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 me. Most of these heathens are so carbureted, they look at me once and they hate it. Why you looking around? You curse from the ground. You basic cause my skin is so melanated. This is telepathy. There's nowhere to find all this recipe. And my garment is white as the leprosy. It's the same wound, but you less than me. Man, hot damn, you a caveman. Create great with my slave.